Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Join us as we dive into the world of Disastrous Necromancer, where we'll unravel the mysteries of Lin Moyu's quest to become the strongest. From hidden secrets to epic battles, we're here to give you an exclusive look at the story before anyone else. If you're a fan of fantasy, necromancers, or just love a good adventure, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to support the channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chapter. Let's start the journey.
The light from the initial 12,301 star system flew in from a distant place, bringing faint light and heat. The cold starry sky had a bit of warmth, but it couldn't compare to Lin Moyu's current mood. The God King's golden body shone brightly in the starry sky, and the boiling blood in his body roared. At this moment, centered on Lin Moyu, within a radius of 1,000,000 kilometers, the clear sound of a heartbeat could be heard. The heartbeat seemed to connect to a line of law, transmitting outward like the sound of a soul. The reason for this was that Lin Moyu's mood was slightly excited at this moment. Not only because he had mastered all the runes needed for the belief array, but also because he had taken a significant step forward on the path of runes. It is said that in the Divine City, there are some special cultivators called rune masters. These people delve deeply into runes. I wonder if I can be considered a rune master now. In the great world, various professions do exist. Professions exist, but they are not present at low levels. In the great world, almost everyone, before reaching the God King realm, does not consider other paths. Their cultivation path is very singular: comprehend laws, strengthen the soul, complete tasks, and upgrade permissions. Almost everyone does this. They keep upgrading their permissions to level 5, gaining the qualification to leave their star region. By then, their realm has generally reached above the 3rd level of the God King. Some people have the opportunity to continue advancing and strive to become God sovereigns. Some people, whose cultivation talent is exhausted and progress is slow, start looking for other paths. It has been proven that other paths can also lead to success. The Great Tao has many paths, all leading to the same destination. Thus, various professional schools emerged. The most common are alchemists and artifact refiners. In the Azure Dragon Star region, array masters are more common. Some professions are related to innate bloodlines, such as summoners in the Black Tortoise Star region. There are also some individuals with special talents who, while cultivating, discover they have strong abilities in a particular area and can pursue 2 paths simultaneously. Lin Moyu had read and understood these materials before but hadn't paid much attention to them. After arriving in the Divine City Star region, he learned that in the Divine City, there is a group of people who specialize in studying runes. These people are called rune masters. Rune masters have their own families, sects, and inheritances. These families and sects form the Rune Master Association. They have established levels for rune masters, various systems, and specialize in exploring and researching runes. Lin Moyu was curious about what level he had reached now. His mood gradually calmed, and his blood stopped boiling. In the Human Emperor training ground, the Sea of Laws, Lin Moyu bowed to the old man fishing. "Thank you, Senior, for your protection." In the 9,500 days in the Human Emperor training ground, Lin Moyu had been cultivating without any disturbance. Within a radius of 1,000 meters around him, no one had appeared. Even if other cultivators made any noise, it did not affect him. Being interrupted can be very annoying. All of this was due to the old man beside him. The old man, with his eyes slightly closed, said calmly, "Are you leaving?" Lin Moyu nodded. "I should go set up the array." "Go ahead," the old man nodded slightly. "Thank you, Senior." Lin Moyu left the Human Emperor network and fully returned to reality. The 9,500 days in the Human Emperor network were the longest period of cultivation for Lin Moyu. Among them, 3,500 days came from task rewards. The remaining 6,000 days were purchased with points, totaling 600 million points. Now, he had only 100 million points left, but Lin Moyu didn't mind at all. Points can be earned again. The most important thing was that during this time, he had mastered the runes needed to set up the belief array. Next, he would set up the belief array, and Lin Moyu had already decided where to do it. His soul opened its eyes, and a majestic voice echoed in the soul world. There are still 3,500 units of belief power left. Setting up the array requires about 2,000 units, which is more than enough. If the setup fails, I will need to wait another 50 days to try again. I must strive for success in one go. The soul extended its jade-like fingers and began to draw runes. Lin Moyu decided to set up the belief array in his soul world. The belief array is used to collect belief power and requires people to enter the array and voluntarily not resist to provide belief power. In a normal cultivator's soul world, there would be no outsiders. Setting up the belief array in the soul world was unprecedented and would likely never be done again. Lin Moyu's choice was well considered. His soul world was different from others. The undead army usually resided in his soul world. Thus, setting up the belief array in his soul world was the optimal choice. The jade-like soul waved its fingers and drew the first complete rune. The rune took shape, and with a slight movement of soul power, it was infused with spirit. Then, a unit of belief power was infused, making the rune become illusory and transparent but still real. The rune flew up, away from the soul body, and approached the spell star. At this moment, a leaf fell from the talent tree, growing larger as it fell, eventually covering the sky. Using the leaf from the talent tree as the array base to carry the rune array. In fact, the rune array could exist without an array base, but having one made it more stable. If needed, Lin Moyu could even take the belief array out of his soul and place it in the real world. Why not do something that offers multiple benefits? The rune landed on the leaf, shining brightly, waiting quietly. Lin Moyu continued to draw the second rune without stopping. Soon, the second rune was completed. This rune was more complex and required more soul power, consuming 3 units of belief power. Different runes required different amounts of belief power and soul power. One by one, the runes were drawn and flew into the leaf, connecting with the previous runes. The rune array was gradually taking shape, and Lin Moyu dared not be careless. Any mistake could reduce the array's effectiveness or cause it to collapse, wasting all his efforts. Days passed, and Lin Moyu continued to draw runes without stopping. The leaf was covered with runes, each shining with an illusory light. Under the influence of the runes, even the leaf changed, becoming illusory and hazy. The rune array was almost complete, with only the central array missing the main rune. Lin Moyu was carefully drawing it. The main rune was very complex, and Lin Moyu drew it meticulously. Soul power continuously flowed into it. Lin Moyu's control was so precise that the soul power did not waver, and the entire process was smooth and orderly. Every second, the soul power infused into the rune was identical, with no variation. The main rune was a composite rune, formed by combining 3 runes, allowing no deviation. Drawing the other 1,000 runes took Lin Moyu 5 days. However, drawing the main rune also took 5 days. Finally, after 5 days, Lin Moyu completed the main rune. Now, it's time to infuse the belief power. Success or failure depends on this moment. With a thought, belief power was infused. The main rune required a large amount of belief power, a total of 500 units. The previous 1,000 runes had consumed 1,500 units of belief power, and the entire belief array required 2,000 units. The main rune alone consumed a quarter of the total. The main rune shone brightly. The power of belief, like soul power, needed to be injected steadily. Lin Moyu carefully controlled the 2 different types of power, merging them together. The main rune began to become illusory and transparent, as if it were about to disappear from the world. The soul world was already a place between illusion and reality, and now the main rune was even more so. After being filled with the power of belief, the rune was fully formed. At least up to this point, everything was successful. Now, it was just a matter of pushing the main rune into the belief array to complete the final step. If successful, everything would be perfect. If it failed, he would just try again after some time. It wasn't a big deal. Lin Moyu wasn't nervous. In cultivation, nothing goes smoothly all the time. This wasn't a life and death matter, so Lin Moyu wasn't nervous at all. Go. The purple jade soul raised its hand and pushed, and the main rune flew out, entering the leaf. The main rune entered the center of the array, taking its place. In an instant, the entire array connected and began to operate. Lin Moyu heard a mysterious sound again, like singing or chanting. When he tried to listen carefully, he couldn't make out the specific content. Unconsciously, the soul world, surrounded by purple light, gained an additional layer of mystery. The array projected a hazy light, and within the light, a statue appeared out of thin air. The statue looked exactly like Lin Moyu, a replica of him. The source of the array's power was the power of belief and soul power. The source of the power of belief and soul power was Lin Moyu. As the array operated, it first formed a statue of Lin Moyu. The statue was also a medium for collecting the power of belief. Its appearance meant that the array was fully formed and had not failed. Lin Moyu carefully sensed the operating array and found that it wasn't perfect and had many flaws. Compared to the towers of belief in the Divine City, his belief array was about 30% less efficient. The main problem lay in the runes he drew, which were too formal and rigid, lacking flexibility. Some runes were slightly off, while the connecting runes were too precise. Individually, they were fine, but when connected, small issues arose. Fortunately, the array was still functional, just slightly less efficient. I'll pay more attention in the future, no rush. Lin Moyu had a great mindset and wasn't in a hurry. With a thought, the talent tree lowered its branches, pushing the belief array to align with the spell star where the undead army resided. Under the light of the belief array, it perfectly covered the spell star of the skeletal god warriors. The size of objects in the soul world differs from the real world. The space in the soul world is distorted and compressed. The undead army and the spell star, when appearing in the real world, are not small in size, with skeletal dragons even reaching hundreds or thousands of meters long. But in the soul world, they are just small dots within the spell star. Their world is compressed dozens of times. However, the belief array is not compressed, and its range perfectly covers a large spell star. Lin Moyu then commanded all the skeletal god warriors not to resist the power of the belief array. With the guidance of the belief array, the skeletal god warriors didn't need to do anything, they just needed not to resist. Lin Moyu closely watched the belief array, waiting to see if his idea would work. Gradually, a faint light appeared on his statue. Threads of the power of belief flowed into the statue. It's working. A flash of joy crossed his eyes, his idea had indeed worked. As more power of belief was absorbed, the statue grew brighter. The power of belief flowed through the statue and into Lin Moyu. A refining rune appeared in Lin Moyu's palm, beginning to refine the power of belief. Compared to others' power of belief, the power provided by the skeletons is purer, without impurities. Although my array is somewhat flawed and less efficient, the skeletons make up for it. With joy, Lin Moyu began to continuously harvest the power of belief. A mass of ethereal flames burned on the soul, refining a large amount of power of belief for his use. After careful calculation, 50 million skeletal god warriors could provide him with 10 units of power of belief each day. Although their numbers were small, the power of belief they provided was pure and efficient. Once the power of belief was restored, he planned to set up another array, increasing the speed of belief power accumulation. Once the entire undead army was covered by the belief array, his power of belief would be endless. Actually, 20 units of power of belief per day was already quite a lot. For families like the Mu family, which controlled star systems, they might not even collect 10 units of power of belief per day. In the Divine City, apart from the peak god sovereigns, most towers of belief served the beings of the other shore realm. Leaving the soul world, his vision was dominated by the intense light of a star. At this moment, he had arrived at the initial 12,301 star system, where the skeletal dragon had been staying for several days. The initial 12,301 star system consisted of 1 life star and 13 resource stars. At its center was a star, and on its periphery was another star. It was a rare double-star life system. Although there was only 1 life star in the system, it was much larger than ordinary life stars, several times larger. The people living on the star were also more numerous. From the numbering, both sides belonged to low-numbered star systems in the primary area. In terms of the number of cultivators, they were not much different. In the Divine City star region, there were many such star systems, most of which were not naturally formed but modified by powerful beings. The 2 star systems were very similar but had some differences in certain areas. Lin Moyu put away the skeletal dragon and rushed into the star system. Cultivators came and went in the star system, mostly at the super god and true god realms. Many cultivators went to the resource stars to obtain the materials and resources needed for cultivation. However, resource stars were not accessible at will. One had to apply, pay the corresponding points, and be allowed to go. In the human race, there is no such thing as getting something for nothing. Only by giving can one gain. Not enough points? No problem, just do tasks. Many tasks involved obtaining corresponding materials from resource stars, but these tasks were for super god and true god cultivators. As for god kings, they naturally wouldn't bother with such low-level tasks. Some from prominent families would also choose to leave the Divine City and go to the 4 major star regions or various battlefields. After all, the tasks there were more abundant, and earning points was faster. Lin Moyu moved at high speed, becoming a stream of light flashing through the starry sky. The super god and true god cultivators couldn't see Lin Moyu's figure clearly. They looked at him with envy, hoping to reach such a realm one day. A few minutes later, Lin Moyu had already landed on star 12,301-1. 12,301-1 star is a truly large star, with a volume equivalent to 5 stars. Billions of people live on this star, and there are many cultivators. There are countless large and small cultivation families, and several sects. The family that governs this star system has the surname Wang. It is said to be a branch of a high-level Wang family, possessing very strong power. Of course, this power does not allow them to act arbitrarily. Even the head of the Wang family must follow the rules. Unless he has the ability to escape the surveillance of the human emperor network. On the star, a large number of people are heading in the same direction. Most of them are in the super god realm and true god realm, and they seem to be going to watch some kind of duel. Although there are many people, they still follow the order and there is no chaos. Lin Muyu was also in the crowd, and after listening for a while, he roughly understood what was happening. In this city, there was a conflict between the disciples of two families, and they decided to resolve it in the duel arena. Duel arenas are not available everywhere, and many places choose to resolve conflicts in the arenas of the human emperor network. Unlike here, people prefer to resolve conflicts in the real world, in the duel arena with real weapons. Of course, they cannot cause fatalities, as the human emperor network does not allow it. As long as there are no fatalities, it doesn't matter if someone loses an arm or a leg. Lin Muyu had just experienced nearly 10,000 days of cultivation, and naturally felt the urge to join in the fun. No matter how high his cultivation level is, or how strong his state of mind is, he is still human at the end of the day. A sage once said that humans are social creatures, but they are divided into groups. This is also why even those in the other shore realm still chat and talk about various topics. When cultivating, they are in seclusion, isolated from the world. But after coming out of seclusion, they will be with their companions, drinking tea and wine. The circular duel arena is not large, with a diameter of 1,000 meters, and is covered by a formation. The runes in the formation are shining brightly. Lin Muyu could tell at a glance that this formation was not purely a rune formation. It was a combination of runes and some formation materials. From the runes in the formation, it could be seen that the main purpose of this formation was to contain the internal power and block external power. This ensures the fairness of the duel. Under the arena, there was a cultivator in a white robe controlling the formation. His name was Wang Xing, a 6th-level god king. Lin Muyu saw that his sleeve was embroidered with runes. These runes were purely decorative. The rune was basic, representing the number 3. Wang Xing seemed to sense Lin Muyu's gaze and looked up, meeting Lin Muyu's eyes. Lin Muyu had hidden his name, so others could not see it, but they could see his realm. Lin Muyu was a 4th-level god king. Both were god kings, and Wang Xing nodded to Lin Muyu, who responded with a smile. Among the onlookers, most were in the super god realm and true god realm, with few god kings. His soul is very sensitive, his soul realm is not low. Surname Wang, he should be from the Wang family. Unexpectedly, someone from the Wang family is handling personal grievances, interesting. Soon, the two duelists stepped onto the arena. Both were young men, and coincidentally, both were 6th-level true gods. On the arena, the two glared at each other, looking as if they wanted to kill each other. At this moment, a woman also arrived at the edge of the arena. She was beautiful and had a good temperament, considered a beauty. The woman approached Wang Xing and seemed to be saying something to him. She spoke softly, but it did not escape Lin Muyu's ears. Lord Wang, can you stop them from fighting? Wang Xing shook his head. No, their duel application has been accepted, and according to the rules, a winner must be determined. Neither you nor I have the authority to stop it. The woman's eyes filled with tears as she looked at the two on the arena, full of worry. Lin Muyu already knew what was happening. The two young men on the arena both liked this woman. Both were young talents from two small families in the city. The woman seemed to have special feelings for both of them and couldn't decide who she liked more. So the two applied for a duel, with the loser voluntarily withdrawing. To Lin Muyu, it was a trivial matter. But such a trivial matter attracted a lot of interest from many people. Seeing the lively crowd of cultivators around, he couldn't help but smile. There are really a lot of onlookers. From this scene alone, it was clear how idle these people were. Life in the Divine City was too comfortable, at least for most people, too comfortable. This would make many people complacent, becoming flowers in a greenhouse. Perhaps some geniuses would emerge, but the proportion would be greatly reduced. Lin Muyu didn't want to watch any longer and left before the duel began. He had already joined in the fun, and he had no interest in watching a childish duel. This city was still good, although not the main city on the star, it was still a large city. It had everything, with 5 or 6 large families alone. There were many god kings in the families, but no god sovereigns. He heard a sound like singing or chanting and saw the faith tower again. The Faith Tower was everywhere in the Divine City, visible everywhere. Lin Muyu stepped inside and saw many people sitting with their eyes closed, seemingly praying, but actually doing nothing. As long as you don't resist inside, the faith formation will automatically guide your consciousness, gathering the power of faith. He glanced at the collector of the power of faith, still the ancestor of the Shu family. It seemed that the power of faith from these nearby star regions was all sent to the ancestor of the Shu family. Lin Muyu thought for a moment, with tens of thousands, even more than 100,000 life stars, countless humans, providing the power of faith to the ancestor of the Shu family. How strong must this power of faith be? How much could be collected daily? Not only the ancestor of the Shu family, but other strong beings in the other shore realm must also be collecting the power of faith. Each strong being in the other shore realm would occupy a large star region of the Divine City. I don't know what they are collecting so much power of faith for. But this is not something I should be concerned about. Lin Muyu shook his head lightly and walked out of the Faith Tower. He now knew that entering the Faith Tower and contributing the power of faith was also a task. The reward was poor, but you didn't have to do anything, even sleeping inside could complete the task. Staying inside for a day could earn 10 points, 30 days would be 300 points. For some unambitious people, it was not a bad option. There was a rule in the Divine City that after reaching the Super God realm, you must earn a certain number of points within a certain period. If you don't earn points, you will be expelled from the Divine City. The only way to earn points was to complete tasks. The purpose of the rule was to force you to complete tasks. The point requirement was not high, even relying solely on the Faith Tower, you could earn enough points. The high-level humans seemed to want everyone to contribute. If you have no realm and don't want to cultivate, you can earn points through the Faith Tower. No matter what, even if you are a waste, you must contribute to the human race. The human race can support waste, but not garbage. Lin Muyu understood this. If it were him, he might do the same. So the Faith Tower was never short of people. Leaving the Faith Tower, he arrived at the observation hall. The observation hall, like the Faith Tower, was also everywhere in the Divine City Star region. Opposite the observation hall was the T-Friends residence. The observation hall and the T-Friends residence were like a pair of friends, either standing side by side or facing each other. Standing in front of the observation hall, you could already hear the discussions coming from the T-Friends residence. There were many tea guests inside. Lin Muyu smiled slightly and entered the observation hall.